got ourselves team 1 to go with your boy Atham, and we got Kobe Boy on that team. Duke. We got Duke in here. Fast gonna be first up, setting up the gate, setting up the ports, with Shamada gonna be at the ready. With Fassel trying to see if he can get himself a go versus Tranquilio. Trank? I'm gonna call it Trank. Trank opened up with a bit as opener. Trying to go for a bit of a go, but so far hasn't been able to get a proper stun. Mortal sent in, as there's gonna be a full nether portal setting up. Trank may need to pop a defensive, does see the threat, does feel the pressure. Barks can try to heal up as much as he can. Trying to maybe get himself some line of sight. Definitely needs to find a way to deal with the Pet Lord whenever the thing is available. Look at that bad boy go. Trying to see if he can bail out of there. Does he have any mobility at all? Trying to see if he can maybe dive into restealth with the Incarnation, so maybe gives him a little bit of freedom to break away from the Warlock, but the demons are just so overpowering. Zaxxas, Acid goes in for Frenzied Regen, trying to do whatever he can to survive. If he can somehow survive the onslaught of the Burning Legion, Waterfall just trying to find himself a bit of recovery behind the pillar. If you can somehow find himself just a little bit of recovery without an Axos interrupting him, maybe you'll be able to get a chance in order to live through this. Looks like maybe made full recovery. As long as you survive the big scary go by the Warlock, most of the times you may be okay. Got himself a proper interrupt onto Fassel too. Maim to follow. Potentially Big Daz is going to be Fassel going in for a port. Axos as Trank trying to see if he can line his side behind the pillar. Fassel trying to get himself a couple more demons summoned in. Next demon doggos would be extra deadly. The Strength does activate Heart of the Wild. I've seen a lot more druids playing Heart of the Wild as a 5-minute cooldown. It does amplify all your healing. And I think your magic damage and survivability while in bear, it basically amplifies every other form that you're not, almost making you like a proper hybrid, like really kind of decent at all those things, and really still good at feral, really still good at bleed physical damage. Trying to see if he can collect a bit of damage to follow, but Fassel with that wall burning a pretty big defensive does go in for the demon doggos. That is so difficult to get through. Shell is going to be next. Big Mortal sent in onto Fassel. Mad damage to follow. Big X gets right. Oh my goodness. Just absolutely slamming it. Oh my god. Arms Warrior damage. They even nerfed it too. That's the nerf version where they nerfed the Mortal Strike a bit. So this thing is just popping off. Does go for defensive stance, seeing that it's going to be Atham up next. Blaze Storm immediately does activate battle stance right afterwards. Wants to unleash the full fury. Storm Bolt to Atham does have a human ratio for it. Blind on himself. Could potentially go for a trinket. I think waiting until there's a Hodge. Does go for a parry. Got a blink all over the place. Reflect up in case Atham goes in for a Hodge. Atham needs to be very careful. That's where it's going to be big spear. Potentially bubble out of Atham. Maybe big damage by the warrior. Trying to go for as much stuff as possible. Mad damage on Atham. Could still be in big trouble. Big X are coming back to back self. That's even more survivability. Mad damage on Avatha. One more global is needed. Does go for a big bubble. Leaping away. The self have any survivability whatsoever. Trying to see if he can stay away from Atham, but the man just runs by him, runs over him on his big old seed. That is so rough, man. Shadow Crash around the corner as Krusty Krab gonna be up next. My face looks like a bit like in the cage. It does. Wait, you actually do have like a Nick Cage face. What the hell? Now that you mentioned it, I didn't even think about it. Atham going to be up next. Stun to Krusty, trying to see if he can establish a bit of pressure. Final Wreck is being used. This is where Krusty used to play defensive. Does go for that rude hand of freedom for Atham to keep himself moving. The fireworks flying in. Krusty got himself a lot of damage. As long as he got himself survivability, he may be okay. Siphon joins in, trying to establish a bit of pressure onto Atham, but does end up breaking its tether of its healing reduction effect. He will need to establish some sort of pressure at some point. Cutting down defenses besides disperse as his big emergency defensive fear onto Atham. Does proc adaptation out of him as Atham does kind of blink all over the place. Mind blast off of that stun. Maybe silence to follow. Could potentially put a lot of pressure on the Paladin. Going to be blind right after as Atham got himself full wings to follow. Krusty could be in big trouble. Do you disperse here or do you wait? I think May needs to disperse it right now. May have been a bit of a late disperse and it's going to help him recover some health, which you really do want to disperse the best you can, like at high health, I imagine. May need desperate prayer. Whatever healing you got, desperate sounds. No, Atham just runs over a second one with a butt pumper. Up next is yet another Arms Warrior. Does he play Shatter? A lot of you guys don't put a talent point into Shatter. That's Bumper trying to see if he can catch up to Atham. Does go for the double bladed essence. Is it just a slash cry animation because he can't catch up to Atham? Reflect up, Stormbolt to follow right after. Atham could take a lot of damage here. That is an Arms Warrior that do a ton of damage. Big roar, lots of bleeding. Atham may be in a bit of trouble. That's going to be a lot of output. Doesn't have a bubble for a while. May have to go for lay on hands here. Parry up for a Bumper. Maybe putting Atham in an unwinnable situation. Does Atham have any CC? Blind? Potentially may need a blind. Does something to follow him. Try to recover some health. Does he have any Mortal Glories? Try to give himself as much self-healing as possible. I think he may be over the... Oh, and Bumper does end up cleaving him down. Got him to reflect in case Duke is going to be up next. Just try to see if you can pester him. As long as you got that second wind, you should be able to recover a ton of healing. Does go for a Blaze Storm immediately out of the root. Could potentially go for Reflect. Reflect in one of those Arcane Blasts. It's not going to be much. Going to be an ultra time for Duke as he does go for an Interrupt. He does realize that he does have a image nearby. He's not really going to chase. Just going to let him pour back exactly the way he wanted him. It's going to be a double charges as Duke does go in for that Shimmer Blink. Blaze Storm right after. It's going to be yet another Shimmer. I think he may be out of mobility. Does get a freeze into Pumper. Lots of damage done to Duke. Does himself a little bit of recovery. Big Arcane Surge to follow. Pumper may need to pop a defensive. Maybe in a bit of trouble. Does reflect one of the blasts back at Duke. Could go for a Strongbolt. Potentially maybe big damage. Knockback. Does get shut down on Arcane. Gonna be big clears. Minion Ice Block either way though. That's gonna be touching the magic slamming onto Pumper. But he's okay for now. Minion one more execute. And Duke does go in for a reset. For Pumper, that's actually not the worst. Second wind is going to end up helping him. Duke may want to break out of the Ice Block early to disrupt the second wind. Stormbolt immediately. No outs. Does have a sharpened blade for it. Blaze Storm to follow. Big damage to the Duke. Maybe in a bit of trouble. Charge. Does he have the execute damage? Potentially doesn't hold the time in the last second. Is it going to be another? Oh, Warbreaker. Does knock it back. Leaping around the corner. No charge to reconnect. Does give him some cooldown reduction. Has reflect in case there's going to be anything from Duke. Does end up slamming on him. That is unfortunate. With Shamato? I want to call Shamanto for some reason, but Shamato is going to be up next. That was a little bit of a glitch with the camera. I think I was trying to like get caught in the net, the camera. Maybe that's what that was. Stormbolt as Pumper is going to get rooted out. There's going to be a bunch of lava birds. The man is just eating those meatballs. Primordial reflecting back at Shimada. Pumper is going to have a flame shark crawling on him, so he's not going to be able to get himself a lot of recovery. Shimada does end up going for a bit of a resetting behind the pillar. Does get himself a bit of healing. Pumper maybe can use the second wind to give him some healing. Will need to utilize that reflect at the right time in order to reflect damage back at Shimada. Will have to use a Stormbolt in order to give himself the most amount of value. He does not have a lot of ways to heal. May need to use defenses really early. Parry up. Stormbolt onto that pet. May need to use a Rallying Cry. Does get himself that Ignore Paid for just a moment, but doesn't want to stay onto Shimada at all. I think he's waiting until Reflect is back up. Does the Reflect for this one. Lasso getting reflected back at Shimada. Maybe Execute is going to be enough. Wall to follow. Maybe not enough. Oh, and Pumper just adds a Blade Storming through the man. Not giving him much of a chance. Kobe Boy is up next. Blasting him out. Bite. There's nothing you could do. With one Alpaca, last one left over for the team 2. Another Elemental Shaman. Got himself the big Molten War Axe. I wish Enhancement Shamans could wield a Molten War Axe like that. Kobe Boy opening up. Immediate incarnation onto one Alpaca as they literally dance in the middle of the arena. Could use this stun by the Earth Elemental. He's just usually using Earth Ellie just to give himself a little bit more health. Is having to pop defensive immediately. Big damage on the Feral. Not giving him a break. Oh my goodness. And there it is. You guys want to go again? I think Bumper did quite a bit of damage there. Arms War is on a rise. Dude, Arms War is so good right now. They just got so much damage.